Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. There's no doubt about it, our population is aging. And it's one of the largest segments of the population, first time it's ever been that way. And with that, we have lots of people in life-changing situations, retiring or continuing to work a little bit more than you normally would. We're going to see what that all looks like, how you navigate that. Let's say it's you. Let's say it's your parents, and how do you support them? And she supports a lot of people. She is a licensed psychologist and really does work with everybody from adolescent, teens to seniors. Gloria Vanderhorst is back with us. Hi, Gloria. How are you?
I'm good, Steve. It's great to be here. And I'm glad that we're going to talk about this aging population. I am actually a part of that population.
And still working.
And still working.
Yeah.
Right. Very much like many others. All right. The baby boomer children are healthy. They're working. They're doing community service. They're really busy. They're keeping themselves fit. And they're traveling. Right. They're enjoying the world and exploring the world. It's a great group of people.
What ages are we talking about here?
Well, probably those, I would say in the late 60s, 70s to 80s range.
Yeah, definitely upper 60s, 70s, very active. And more than that, I remember ever. And I try to think back when I was younger, what that looked like, but you had a different visual of it back then than you do now.
Right.
Why do you think that is? Why is it that, medicine helps us or medical technology helps us live longer, live more prosperous? What's going on here?
I think that definitely medical technology is one of the elements. And it's interesting when you talked about, the visual of someone in that age bracket when we were kids, a picture of my grandmother came up in my head, right? And she had lost all of her teeth. And what she loved to do, right, was to take these false teeth and just shove them out of her mouth, all right, and scare you or entertain you with her false teeth. And if you look at people in their 70s and 80s now, I don't think anybody has a full set of false teeth, right? We have advanced to the point that A, our dental care is superior.
Wow.
And B, you can get implants. So you have real teeth.
In a day.
All the time.
In a day. I do marketing, and part of that, medical is the highest category that I work with, and that includes dental. So all on four is one of them. There's teeth, literally teeth in a day. And you're right, because I remember, now you're bringing memories back, Gloria. I remember my grandmother. She would put her teeth in a glass,
right?
and also my mom. And my mom, had dentures as well. And I want to say fairly young, for that to happen.
True.
I remember I was a kid and she got her teeth pulled. I remember that. And what a difference.
Yeah, powerful. Of course, as a kid, I remember having my baby teeth pulled by putting a string around them and slamming the bathroom door.
See, I always wondered if that actually took place, or that was just something
that actually happened
in a cartoon. Wow.
But I think that was an experiment between myself and my older brother.
Sure.
I don't think there was any adult supervision to that.
And I'll jump back to my grandmother on this one. She was the one that would pull your teeth when you had a loose tooth. She's like, "Give me that. Get over here. Get over here." And her hand would be out. And like,
she would work at it.
And this, I always remember this story, and I don't even know if it's true, but she would always say that she would get in your mouth and straighten your teeth, and instead of braces. So I don't know if I believe that, but
that could be.
You're right, though. When we look at all of this, those advancements definitely keep us more active and in better shape.
And the advancements in health right?
Sure.
Just the nutrition by itself. Of course, we have a crisis in our country of food. We have a real food crisis, which is we serve very poor food to huge swaths of the population. All right. And so we have an obesity problem
Yes.
that I don't think exists any other place in the world. But we also have this opportunity to keep our bodies really healthy and strong and functioning well and really living 100 and past and still be enjoying a walk in the woods.
Isn't it interesting? And I didn't think of it until you just said this, but with all these advancements, dental, medical, and we're eating
Mm-hmm.
garbage food. And
Right,
I'm not just talking about obesity. I'm even just talking about the quality of the food that go to the masses where
right.
it's genetically engineered. It's not the best thing for you.
Mm-hmm.
All of that stuff is going on here. You would think that we would be a little bit more advanced in that.
Well, it's about education.
Mm.
And we don't, for some reason, we don't have a real serious focus on our physiology and the things that we put into our body. I'm not sure why that is. I think there's a trend out there moving towards more serious understanding of nutrition. There are probably, I don't know, maybe 20 or more different companies focused on weight loss. They're advertised on the television,
Mm.
right? And
Sure.
guarantee that if you follow
Sure.
this process, you're going to be able to get thin, get healthy, and stay that way. There's a real shift in food uh, and this process called keto,
Mm.
which is following healthier diets and ways to make food. So we have opportunities in front of us. It's just a matter of whether A, we take it, and I think B, can we afford it, right?
Well, yeah. And that's something else we should touch upon as we talk about a senior population. Even we know we should eat organic. I don't
Right,
think anybody's going to say, no, I'm not going to eat organic. What's going to hold you back when you go to the supermarket and strawberries are $3.99 or they're $4.99 or $5.99
right.
organic? I do it myself. I'm like, well,
Yeah, right.
I'm trying to make
Mm-hmm,
that decision there, and then I get
mm-hmm.
them, and then I try to decide, do the organic last a little bit longer? Trying to say to myself,
Right.
oh, there's more of a
What's the
reason.
advantage?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm,
exactly.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hmm.
But it is an opportunity, and the seniors in the baby boom generation are just doing so much to take care of themselves, and they're so active, and they're contributing to the community around them too, which I think is marvelous.
Hmm.
I'm hoping that it has this trickle down effect where the people in their 40s and 30s are beginning to take themselves more seriously about what they put into their body, how they exercise, how much time they invest in
I
that.
think it's there. I think it's there, especially 30s, because things like don't laugh, but things like avocado toast
Uh-huh.
were a thing, still kind of trickling out
Mm-hmm.
there, but a little more healthier.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of defines that generation, and that generation also is very big on taking time for yourself, self care,
Right.
relaxing, not working too hard.
Mm-hmm.
Now, double-edged sword because sometimes you can't find people to work, and there's challenges there. But looking at seniors, and let's look at the mindset. The
Mm-hmm.
mindset, somebody is yeah, retired a couple of years. What that looks like. What do you hear when you talk with people?
Well, I think the early development is really powerful here. All right. Those people who are now in their 70s, 80s are really the post war generation. And they were given so much opportunity and able to expand in so many different directions. that they come into their older years with this expectation that I could do anything,
Mm.
right? So I never learned to ski, but if I wanted to learn to ski, it's okay. It doesn't make any difference if I'm 68, 70, 72. I can go out on the bunny slope and start there.
Sure.
And pretty soon I'll actually know how to ski because I've taken good care of myself and I can just go challenge anything and accomplish it. And those stories are out there.
Yeah, and I see that. I see that in people I know. And but one caveat is when you get injured, it takes longer.
It does.
You know,
There's no doubt about it.
so sometimes you need to be a little more mindful of what you're doing and be a little more careful in terms of how you do what you do. Um,
Right.
does the I've often heard this. I've seen it. I saw it with my mom who passed 4 years ago. When you get to a point where you don't have the same kind of purpose,
Hmm.
you age quickly.
That's right.
Things change very rapidly when you're not
Hmm.
doing something on a daily routine, going to a job every day, or what. It
Right.
doesn't matter what it is. You could be feeding the cats in the neighborhood, and that's your
Right.
thing.
Right.
And if you stop doing your thing, you stop driving. That's
Right.
that's going to make a difference, and
Hmm.
you're going to age faster and potentially not be around as longer.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, it shows the power of connection,
yeah.
right? We're born connected to another human being. We spend our entire life
Mm,
searching and developing connections with another human being. And, it's the classic story of a couple that's been married for 50 years and one of them dies. And within a year, the other one is sick and gone as well. We all crave connection. And so I think the key for those kinds of changes really is the connection that's available to the person and the support that they get. So you say, right, someone in their 70s breaks a leg skiing, it is going to take longer to heal,
mm,
right? Which means I have to have a lot of support, right? I have to have people coming to see me or bringing food to me or taking me to doctor appointments.
yep.
The connection is powerful. And if I have that, I'm going to heal faster. I'm going to be healthier. But if I don't have connection with other people, I'm not going to heal faster. I'm not going to feel better right away. And I might be lucky to actually survive it. It's the connection is that powerful.
How do you motivate somebody, or how do you motivate yourself? Let's say your life has changed. Things are not the same as they were,
Hmm.
and you were never a very social type person. But of course, doesn't matter. We all need that connection.
Right. We need it. Hmm.
How do we connect? We could say, join groups, volunteer, things like that. What?
It's, no, I think it's really hard. All right. Our history has a deep hold on us. So if you have been the person who's been kind of the stay at home, you don't go out and socialize, you're not going to connect, nor is anyone else going to be able to create that for you unless they bring it to you. And that there's a big difference between encouraging someone, right? You should go to the library and volunteer in the library to put books back on the shelf, all
Hmm.
right? You'll meet three or four other people. It'll be a very small group, so you won't be overwhelmed by them. Or you should even do some of these online groups, all right? At least you're socializing with someone and you're talking to a real human being, but you weren't going to be able to prescribe a change to a person. You have to be able to facilitate that change. All right. So
Hmm.
if I say to you, right, I'll come to your house 2 o'clock. I know there's a Zoom meeting of people that love cats. All right. And I know you're a cat lover. So let's just go do that and have fun. I'll be at your door at 2. It starts at 2:15. It'll only go for half an hour. Maybe then we can have a cup of coffee, have a little chat. So you've connected that person to something outside of themselves. And then maybe you don't come every time. Maybe you miss a time or two, or maybe you enjoy it and you do come every time. But it's the small steps that facilitate someone who is older making a new connection. You can't just write a prescription and say, go do this. They have to be accompanied by
Mm.
someone who really cares about them.
And I believe that for most of us, whether
Mm-hmm.
you're older or you're younger, I know for
Yeah.
myself, I won't just show up somewhere. I usually go with somebody
Mm-hmm.
else, you know,
Mm.
and
Right.
and I honestly sometimes it's work. Who's doing what this weekend? Let's plan this all out. I'm planning
Right.
a gathering this weekend um, with a bunch of friends to see a concert. I live near a venue and I work in the
Great.
media, so I get some
Mm-hmm.
tickets and everything. But that's work. But it's great because we're all together. But I wouldn't
Right.
even just show up. Like I wouldn't go by myself. So to your
Yeah.
point,
So
it,
you just illustrated my point.
there
It's
it
hard
is.
for us.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
take initiative. We want to be connected, and it's so much easier if we can go with a partner, go with a buddy,
yeah.
know that we're going to meet somebody, and have that all planned out.
I want to say that if you're alone, you're not alone. And
Mm,
what I mean by that, and this was an interesting wake up for me.
mm-hmm,
I'm on a couple of singles Facebook groups, and it's not about dating. It's more
uh-huh,
about getting all together. And I'll go to some events, and they're okay.
mm-hmm,
There's some dialogue that go back and forth in the groups, and somebody said something, and the person that said it is an attractive woman in her 40s
uh-huh.
with 3 kids, and she said, "I'm going to just put this out here because a lot of us don't realize this, but." She needed a surgical procedure done,
Mm-hmm.
but they won't let you leave unless somebody comes and picks you up and signs you out.
True.
And she was saying
True.
that's where I realized that wow, I'm on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to come and take me out and,
Right.
and 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 just drive me home? And
Mm-hmm.
so many people chimed in thinking the same exact thing, or we're in the same situation, or we're
Right.
thinking, yeah, if I had to have a procedure, who would I call? How would that work? Everybody's working. And so we're not alone. And perception is not normally the reality because you take a look at some of these people in the group and like, really, you must have tons of friends. No, it's not really
No.
like that. It's not like that.
Right. No, and that's such an excellent example, right? Because that's an intimate experience to say, I have to go to the hospital, I'm going to have surgery, even if it's just really minor,
Sure.
very simple surgery. You're right. They won't let you check out unless someone comes to pick you up. And the cab driver is not the someone.
No, Uber is not going to be able to sign you out. You can pay him off a little bit more, but he's they're
Right.
not going to take that responsibility for you. Uh,
Right.
but
So you have to tap into your network.
you have to
And,
tap
and
into your
there's
network.
where it's difficult because that means you have to be transparent. And being transparent is hard for all of us.
Yes. Who wants to say I'm alone?
Mm-hmm.
Hurts.
Right.
It hurts.
Right.
But you're not alone. That's my point.
Right.
Unfortunately, if you're in your 40s, 50s, it's easier than you are if in your 70s in that situation. I feel just my perspective that you're more isolated, you're more by yourself, and it's harder to connect in the same kind of way.
Well, honestly, when you get into your 70s and 80s, your network has been dying,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so, the best friend that lived next door, and now you've moved into a retirement facility, right? Those are all new people to
Hmm.
you. And your best friend next door dies,
Right.
right? I have to reestablish connections. I'm going to lose people in my 70s and 80s, and I have to reestablish connections. And that's hard for most of us to do that.
It is. Unless you are a more social person, it's going to be easier. I'll say I sold a house a year ago. I'm in a apartment complex now. I know my neighbor. We wave.
Mm-hmm.
We had a conversation.
To say hi, right?
Yeah, but everybody else, I got nothing. I don't know anybody. And it's not that I don't want to meet them, but in today's society, I'm walking up to the door. Hey, how you doing? I'm over here. It just doesn't, work that way. Unfortunately, just the way things are. So it is tough. It is tough.
No, it is hard. And we depend on kind of external organizations to provide those opportunities. Here in DC, for example, there's a wonderful bookstore called Politics and Prose, and they run reading and studying and just all kinds of different groups. No matter what kind of book you like, you could go there and find a group to join, either meeting online or meeting in person. And so you develop connections. We depend on organizations like that, churches, for example, that have adult education. We lean into those things, clubs, bridge clubs.
Yeah.
Bridge has become kind of a very popular game for older people. And there are tons of bridge clubs all over the place.
What's the other card game? Starts with an M. Popular. Mahjong. Mahjong.
Oh,
that's another one.
Okay.
Seems to be popular. It's so funny Gloria, when you mentioned the name of the bookstore, you said Politics and Prose, and right away, my brain, when you say politics, I'm off. I shut down. But then I heard prose, and I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's what a great name."
Just a variety of books.
Yes, from this to this.
They could call it the variety store.
No, but I get what it is. There's there's and the alliteration and the P, but there's from the politics to the prose, you've got everything in between. But it's so funny when you said politics, I was like, and then I processed. Took me maybe a quarter of a second.
Just a couple of seconds.
Yeah, I was like, oh, prose. We're good.
I'm sure you're not the only one that turns off to the word politics.
Just not my thing. I try to stay away from discussing it or getting deeper into it, unless, however you need to follow candidates and the situation. But how do we connect with you? Let's say somebody is older and looking to connect and wants to change their life. Or there's so much that somebody could be going through, even the passing of a partner.
Right.
So many different things that can happen that wouldn't be happening to somebody younger, or maybe somebody that's in that situation. How do we find you?
You could go to my website, and that's www.drvanderhorst.com. So it's www.drvanderhorst.com. You can also just go to any one of the Snapchat, Twitter, all of those places, Facebook, and you put in my name and things will pop up.
Sure. You, for somebody, as you said before, who's a little bit older, are so fresh with everything.
Thank you.
You are. Your perspective on everything. It's like I view you like me and my friends, even my best friend, we look at each other and we're like, we're not our age. We really aren't.
That's right.
I don't know if you know how old I am, but I'm in my 60s.
Are you really? No, I never would have guessed that.
Yeah. I'll be hitting 61 in 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, so congratulations.
Well, thanks. And congrats to you. We're doing our thing.
Thank you. We are.
And moving life forward but not retiring anytime soon. Not on my radar.
Not on mine either.
I don't know that I'll be going skiing anytime soon. Just doesn't motivate me.
Maybe you could try at the bunny slope. Just a little.
Water skiing, yes.
Okay. All right. Ice skating, maybe when the pond freezes over.
I'm not. I don't have the balance, but thank you. I'll go hiking. Great. I'll go kayaking. That's my favorite thing. Yeah, I do that a lot. But Gloria, so great talking with you and refreshing.
Thank you,
and thanks for doing what you do. And look forward next time we talk.
all right. You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too. We'll be right back.
Bye.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
They'll challenge your authority. They'll try to break your will. They'll push you to the edge of your sanity. Because that's what kids do. But this car is your territory, not theirs. Defend it. Who makes the payments? Who cleans it? Who drives it? You do. That's who. And in here, your word is law. So when you say you won't move until everyone's buckled up, you won't budge an inch. Until you hear that click. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. For more information, visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup.